Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Linda. I'm an advisor with the SBDC, and today I'm hosting this webinar. Welcome to Email Marketing Made Simple, and I'm going to introduce you to Lani in just a moment. She's going to present for you today. We are the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. It's a nonprofit organization. We provide confidential, no-cost advisory and training services to small businesses. We're sponsored by the SBA and the Humboldt State University Sponsored Programs Foundation. And here is a list of just some of our advisors. Many of these people are local. We help companies in a lot of different areas. What's wonderful about this program is whatever service you need, we have an advisor that can help point you in the right direction, give you guidance, advise you, and help you move your business forward. So it's really great to be a part of this community. This is where I started my business years ago. And our disclaimer: the information provided in this webinar and any supplementary materials provided to registrants are intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, or legal advice. No registrant should act or fail to act on the basis of any material contained in this webinar without obtaining proper financial, legal, and other professional advice specific to their situation. The National California Small Business Development Center and its host, the HSU Sponsored Programs Foundation, specifically disclaims any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the information presented in this webinar. And now I would like to present Lani to you. Lani, great to see you this morning.
Hey, thank you, Linda. And as always, thank you for helping host this webinar today, and welcome everyone. My name is Lani Lott, and yes, I am one of the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center advisors, and I've had the opportunity to be advising for a number of small business development centers for the last 20 years. I love working with small businesses. I'm passionate about small businesses, and myself, I'm a small business owner. I've had my own consulting firm for about 25 plus years, focusing in business coaching as well as economic development and downtown revitalization. And this is my pandemic photo. That is me with my sidekick, Charlie. You may hear him. He likes to join in the webinar when the postman comes. So that is all about me. And today, the agenda for our Email Marketing Made Simple webinar is we're going to cover the importance of email marketing. And if you have used email marketing or you're using emails to stay in contact with your customers, your vendors, your community, then you know the importance of it. You know how to maybe use it. Maybe you have dabbled a little bit in using a third-party program. But we're going to dive deeper into it today. We're going to talk about how do you build that email list, because your email list is your most powerful tool when you're implementing any type of email marketing strategy or campaign. Talk a bit about drafting that first email marketing campaign. And I have found that when I do email marketing and I'm using one of my clients' programs, that just jumping off the edge and doing that first email and getting it out there is so empowering, and it kind of gets you over that hump of, well, you know, I don't know what to put in it, or, oh, I'm so kind of nervous about people may not want that email. So once you just get your head wrapped around one simple email, you just test it out, you send it to your list, and then you're ready. The confidence just grows. I'm just going to tell you firsthand, that's just the place to begin. And then because we've had such a, very unusual last year and a half, we're going to talk about some of the suggestions of the content to use post-pandemic. As California and other states start to open up, businesses are starting to open up, restaurants are starting to be able to invite their customers back to their actual facilities and serve in person. Retail is starting to open up, and even some of our smaller and larger musical venues, festivals are starting to plan for bringing back and welcoming their customers. So We're going to talk about what do you really look at putting in using for your content as you start to reach out to those customers through your email marketing. So that's the agenda. This is an hour-and-a-half webinar. I'm very used to doing short 1-hour ones, so I feel really excited today that I may even have actual time for questions and answers. I'm going to go ahead and stop my video just because I talk a lot with my hands. I'm looking outside and you can only see me. I can't see you. So at this point, I'm just going to stop it and you'll hear my voice and be able to focus on the PowerPoint presentation.
Lani,
Yes.
can you let our attendees know how you'd like them to interact when they have questions? Because I know you're going to cover a lot of slides. Do you want to use the chat? What is the way you'd like them to ask questions?
So how do you usually have them do it, Linda?
When
You
we're
manage that
the
piece,
beauty
so.
right now is we have an hour and a half. So normally we have so much to cover, it's hard to address questions. But you can decide, Lani, do you want people to turn their microphones on and ask a question at that right moment? Or do you want them to send the question to me in the chat, or you can open up both options?
Actually, in this presentation, I do have a break. So for questions, so maybe we'll wait till then. You can go ahead and type them in the chat, and if you can answer it, Linda, if it's an SBDC question, that'd
Sure.
be great. So I will just make a focal mental break about when to take the break. I find it hard if we just jump in and ask the question at that point. So just hold on to those questions in your head. I will have a break. If you want to go ahead and put it in the chat box, that's good. I do want to remind everybody, you will also get the copy of the PowerPoint deck that I'm using today, as well as a link to the recording. So you will, you can take lots of notes if you want to, but you will have this PowerPoint deck sent to you. Is that good, Linda?
Thanks, Lani. That's great.
Okay, thank you. Okay, another deep breath. So what is email marketing? We hear about it. Everybody throws those terms around, email marketing campaigns, some of the third-party programs that are out there that help assist with it, like Constant Contact or MailChimp are a couple of the more popular ones. So email marketing is simply the practice of sending marketing messages to prospective and current customers via email in order to sell, educate, or build loyalty. Email is owned digital marketing channel where the sender, you, the business owner, has full control over the content and the distribution. So you're creating the messaging, you're creating who you want it to go to, you are sending it out using your email list that you have captured and gathered from your customers or prospective clients, prospective vendors, whoever that may be. Emails typically work best when used to send to a personal messages to segmented list of recipients. So we're going to talk about that segmented piece because as you grow your email list, you want to segment it into maybe customers that were visitors during the summer season, if you're in a specific tourist-based economy, or if you're a artist or a creative business and you're out doing festivals and fairs again, and you're in a certain location and you gather emails from that specific show, you may want to put those into your email list and segment them that this is from this area, so that when you return next year, you can send out an email blast to that specific list announcing you're going to be in their area during those dates. And we'll go into a little bit more detail about that. So why is email marketing important? Well, it is incredibly effective at driving sales. Here is an infographic on the right-hand side showing the return on investment of an email marketing. Per dollar spent, you have about a return on your investment of $40. Where catalogs, you can see, is much lower, SEO, search engine optimization, a little higher, internet display. So you can see it's almost double over any of the other types of marketing types of tactics that are available to you. Not saying that you just use email marketing, because all of these different tactics work together, but it's effective because your customer gives you their email and you ask for that in a number of different ways, because now they want to hear back from you, and then you deliver your messages. You craft them so it's specific to your targeted customer base, and you drop that right into their email box. Now, I hear this all the time, so I just want to get this right off out in the open, right off the table from the beginning. Well, because I hear a lot of my clients say this, well, I just hate getting all those emails. Well, okay, unsubscribe to them. Why did you sign up for them in the first place? And I do get a lot myself personally, because maybe a couple of the businesses that I shop at regularly have that option. Would you like to sign up for our emails? And we send out an email about upcoming promotions, discounts, all kinds of information. At the SBDC, at our Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center, we have an email strategy too, an email marketing strategy. And our office manager, she sends those out regularly with a listing of the upcoming webinars, with all of the new, the existing, and maybe where's the status of all the new funding opportunities, showcasing other things that are going on in the community. So that, even organizations, many organizations use email marketing to keep their mission, keep their programming, keep their services and products out into the public space. So don't make that decision for your customers that you don't think they want to receive your email. And if you make that thought and that decision, then don't even do email marketing. You have to be able to create it, distribute it, and then go from that point, and let the customer decide whether they want to unsubscribe, or let the customer open it up. And the other value, and we're going to talk a little bit about this at the end, is you can see what your open rate is. You can see who opened, what was the percentage of your list that opened that email? What was the highest click through if you embed links to other sites? And what was the click through? How many of your links, your URL links, were clicked through? It gives you a basis to see what's resonating with your customers, and that they opened their, how many went to your website to then shop from your online shop. So it is a very powerful tool from seeing the back end of your email marketing and how it's performing, which then gives you the opportunity to tweak some of your content and etc. Email is one of the best channels for maintaining and strengthening customer relations over time. During the pandemic, it was one of the key ways of interfacing and staying in front and communicating with your customers, especially if you have emails from your out of town visitors. If you're, have a actual facility, or you were a creative business and you only did festivals and fairs, and now we're during the pandemic, because some of those venues weren't open and you weren't able to go and sell your products and services, your email marketing, if you had an email marketing list, you could then communicate with all of those people that maybe stopped at your booth during the event. And now, because you don't have that booth at that outdoor event, you could communicate with them. You could drive them to your website to purchase your products if you were set up with e-commerce. You could drive them to your social media channels to be able to see how they can continue to do business with you. So email marketing was very key during the pandemic, and as we start to come into post-pandemic, it's even going to be more important. Email isn't influenced by third-party gatekeepers. That means when you drop an email, you create an email and you're dropping it into your customer's email box, it isn't It's not going through Facebook. It's not going through Twitter. It's not going through Pinterest. It's going through your computer. If you're using a third-party program, then you're just using that program to create the email itself, but you own the list. You have full control over that email list, and it isn't influenced, can't be taken down by a third-party gatekeeper. Increased web traffic. And again, that gives you the ability to drive everybody over to your website, which should be always your #1 landing page, where they can learn more about your business. They can shop with you. They can register for webinars. They can know where you're going to be in the next year if you're going to be traveling again. So again, you want to see the increased website traffic. So it's one way to communicate and get folks over to your website, your virtual storefront, as I call it, your virtual office, and be able to conduct business with you. More intense brand awareness. Again, an email marketing strategy is part of building your brand. It's one of your marketing touch points. It works with your website. It works with your social media platforms. It works with if you have a storefront or an office, it works with that. It works with your visual image as you go out into the marketplace. If you're a service-based business and you have outside sales folks, or you are a service business like your trucks if you're a contractor. So all of this works together, and it really helps intensify your brand. I know in our Small Business Development Center emails that it has all of our other ways you can communicate with us, whether that's through our social media platforms, our YouTube channel. Yes, SBDC, Shasta-Cascade, SBDC has a YouTube channel. We would love for you to subscribe to that. A lot of our webinars sit on there where you can then access them during any time and watch them through YouTube. All of our social media works together to help bring not only our brand, but all of the key information that we try to share. And that's the same with you as a business. You want to wrap it around your brand, and then you want to be able to share it with your customers, all of those different touch points. In marketing, it takes 7 different ways for a customer to actually then consider to do business with you. And when we ask, as a business, how did you hear about us? They usually remember the last touch point, whether that was a referral from an individual, or they got your email and you had a 20% discount, or you had a 2-for-1 promotion going, or they visit and it led you to the website. But they usually remember that last touch point. So it takes like 7 different impressions to get to that point to help that customer then make that buying decision or purchasing decision to do it with your business. And then it allows you to engage with your leads directly and consistently. So I have this is Halford Insurance, and I have my business policy through them. And I just really liked the email that they drop in to my email box. Now it's a reminder that my policy is going to be renewed. Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of changes that were going on. And so they were just saying, it's time for a checkup. And it was like a little reminder for me, because my policy renews once a year. Once I renew it, I don't think about it. And with all the changes, did I need to look at it and give it a checkup? It wasn't a hard sell. It was very soft sell. And I just liked the way that they kind of created this very simple email. Of course, I'm on their email list, so I've given them permission to use, my email. And then I like down here on the bottom, as just another reference for you, especially professional businesses, what are some of the awards, or what are some of your collaborations that you work with? Are you a part of a national association? Have you received, like, I know up in Nevada County, California, in Grass Valley, where my daughter has her business, each year they have a best of, and they were voted the best of roofing companies. And so they've put that little best of icon on all of their marketing. And this goes in also on your email marketing. And consumers prefer email, even though we hear from them. I don't want those emails in my email box. I get 20 of them a morning. Well, I do too. And I'm too lazy to go unsubscribe. So they continue to come into my box. And then every once in a while, when I need something, that's what comes front of mind, right? So consumers, 99% of people check emails every day. I want to know who that 1% is. Might be my mom, but she checks her emails too. But 73% of millennials prefer communications from businesses to come via email. And then 50% of US respondents check personal email accounts about 10 times a day. So it's like, it is a mainstream way of communicating. And as a business advisor and someone who is a consultant, wow, I get excited when I get a phone call, because most of my communication is coming through what? Emails, right? And now we're connected through our mobiles, and even we're wearing watches, and we're never away from those emails. So it is the preferred email, preferred way of communicating, maybe by default. And it's affordable. It doesn't cost an arm and leg. Again, only one of your marketing types of strategies. You may still be investing in print and radio, or doing some advertising through social media, and on, but it is affordable. And this is one of ours. This is what the Shasta-Cascades Small Business Development Center's sample of their little email that they push out. And up here in the very top are all of our icons, all of our social media icons. So you can link on that. It'll take you right over to those. And then the current news, and then free workshops. Who doesn't like free workshops? So and again, this is the layout that they use. It's branded. It has their logo on the top. It's very clean. It's very clear, nice images. So that's an example of a nonprofit organization that pushes out a regular email. So what are the goals for your email marketing? This is where you start. When you start to think about, what am I going to put in my emails? What kind of content do I have to have? Oh my gosh. And when we see all of the professional emails coming through, it gives you ideas. That's one reason why you subscribe to some of them. And I would say subscribe to your competitors so you can see what they're putting in theirs, because it'll give you some ideas of maybe how to find your niche and or the type of information you may want to put in yours. But again, what are the goals? Staying connected or reconnecting with your customers. That should be right at the top. If you ask for an email, eventually send something out to them. I have, clients that have been collecting emails for probably a good year, and I go and I see them regularly, and I'll say, hey, have we done that email yet? Marketing your first email yet? No, I haven't done it yet. I haven't had time, and I don't know what to put in it. And I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. But they've got a lot of emails. You got to eventually push something out. Otherwise, your people that you're collecting all these emails from are not going to have the value of knowing what you're doing, and if you're open again, and what your hours are, and if you have an online shop, or what festivals you're going to be at, or what are the new services you've introduced. So you want to make sure that you get that email out there. So it is one of your goals, of course, should always be, and it's just the byproduct, is staying connected with your customers. Is your goal for increasing brand awareness? Maybe you had a rebranding strategy during the pandemic. Maybe you've been, sheltered in place and your business has been closed, or you moved to a new location. Our SBDC, we moved to a new location. We had news right away. We have a new office. We have a new picture. So, that is reconnecting and strengthening our brand awareness. Number two reason besides staying connected is to promote value-added incentives, loyalty programs, discounts, special shopping hours, VIP incentives, subscriptions. So really thinking about, again, it is, this gets down to core advertising, but your email marketing is the way that you may get that into your customers' email box. So if they open it up, they'll see that you're offering during the month of May, let's say, a promotion, stop in, buy, one item, get one free, whatever it is, you get to create it, but this is the way you communicate it. Achieve a higher quality of sales. Maybe you run and start to upsell your items. Maybe your lower price points are doing really well. Maybe you're bringing new products in or adding new services. So now is the time that you want to really promote and bring those forward. Drive online and in-person sales. The goal is always to get them over to where they can make a business decision, a purchasing decision with you, whether that is buying directly from you or calling up and setting an appointment or using your online appointment feature that you maybe have in your social media or right there on your website, right? It's like, what is that call to action, that CTA? That's a term that we use quite a bit. And that your emails typically want to have that call to action in many of your content. I see I have a little something in the chat, so I'm just going to take a minute and see if it's a question. Oh, thank you, Linda, for that. Then finally is to create a loyal fan base. Of course, I travel a lot, or I did. I'm getting back to it. But my travels take me into lots of small communities like Weaverville, like downtown Reading, like Mount Shasta, like Bernie. And I love going in and walking into storefronts or businesses that are open, that are unique, independently owned, have unique products. I'm not a big chain, or I'm definitely not a national discount shopper. So I like visiting those places where I can get to know the owner or the manager, have that personal type of interaction. And when I buy something and I check out, sometimes right there is their book and it says, sign up for my emails. I'm going to tell you, I am the customer you want because I sign up for everything in those type of businesses. Now, I don't always get things back yet. And that's okay. But those businesses that I have taken the time to visit, to sign up, to purchase, now I'm a loyal fan. And if you send me something and you tell me what's going on, and the next time I need a gift, I am going to think about that business, especially if you make it easy for me to purchase. Or if I have visited and I'm in need of that specific service, then I'm going to follow up. So this is a business. I have, my home is in Phoenix. I have an office in Grass Valley, California. And so in Phoenix, this is a very small, independent, really sweet little retail store that I visit quite often because it has the type of products and services I like, right? They have an email that comes out maybe once a month, not too much over the top. And this is what it looks like. You get an additional 20% off. And it says expires, and then they have little links to, if you want to shop online, it has their story. It's very branded, and it just drops in my box once a month and just lets me know what their new, up and coming promotions are. I click on it, I look through it. Sometimes I go down there, sometimes I shop online, just depends, right? But I'm making it convenient from their customers. Email marketing service. So this is the question. Why should I use an email marketing service? So, okay, an email marketing service. I'm not going to recommend one over the other, but I'm going to tell you the couple that I do use and for my clients, for other clients, and that's Constant Contact or email MailChimp, excuse me. And down here is this YouTube. And this YouTube is one of our advisors did a webinar on what are the differences, what are the features of them, and what are some of the differences. And I would recommend you watch that so you could learn a little bit more about what those two higher level marketing services are about. So basically a marketing service is like, if you were to use one, it sits outside of your hard drive, right? Think about it like it is Facebook, where Facebook is a social media platform, where this email marketing platform is a service. And so you log into it, right? And you only have the access to that login, or you give that login to your manager who's helping you with some of your email marketing campaigns. And there sits all of the emails that you have uploaded into that service. And then you have all of your email templates that you've created, and they have templates for you to use. And then they give you this is where you see how it's performing. And then these services have expanded into other areas too, like they can link that email over to your social media platforms and etc. But for the email marketing, so if something happens to your hard drive, you don't lose your list. And it makes it easier for you to access from anywhere you are, from any computer. So if you are, let's say, have a manager who you've a marketing coordinator or manager, and you're wanting them to do some of your email marketing templates and campaigns, they can access your business's email marketing service, and they can log in and they can help create that email campaign. And then you can look at it, and then you can distribute it if you want to, if you want them just to bring in the content. So basically, it's not sitting on just your computer hard drive. Hope that makes sense. So it enables you to create highly engaging email newsletters fairly easy. So it have beautiful templates that you can use as examples. You don't have to create it from scratch, or you can create it from scratch. It doesn't matter one way or the other. They have samples for, a discount, for a in-store promotion, for announcing all kinds of things, a sale. And then they have a newsletter template. So whatever you're looking for, a postcard, an announcement, a thank you. You could look and see what their templates look like. You could set one up with your branding icons, your color, your fonts, and then it sits there, and then all you have to drop in is the messaging and send it out. You can send bulk emails that are personalized and targeted without a lot of work. You can manage your contact list and segment users into groups. That's where you divide it into groups, whether it is, and you decide what those groups look like. You decide whether it's from a specific customer base, from a specific promotion, from a specific event you participated in. And then it gives you that ability to send out selective emails so that not everybody is getting it, just that selective group, because that email messaging has been created specifically for that group. You can track the performance, like I've said. It ensures that your email campaigns don't end up in the spam folder. And it has built in the bottom, the specific language that is required for giving people the ability to unscribe, right? And then this is that YouTube. So there's the link. And this over here is an example of a small sporting good business that's up in Lake Tahoe, in Tahoe City, actually. I did some work up there a number of years ago. I love this little business. It's outdoor gear. And this is one of the sample of emails that they sent out. It's a rep sale sample sale, Labor Day weekend, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do several large blowout sales, and this is how they're announcing it. Don't miss this. And then they give all the information. They talk about the dates, they have the hours, and then if you went down, further, there's contact information. But up here, they have rent gear, shop, blog, trail of the week. So this is the email blast that they pushed out. Now, with email blast or emails that you push out, you can also use that and repackage it and push it out through your social media, right? You can have it sit on your website. You can archive your newsletters on your website so that if you're an organization, I work for an organization that's a nonprofit, and we do a quarterly newsletter. All of those newsletters sit archived on the website, on the organization's website. So folks can go in there and look back last year and read about what went on in the fall. So, oops, sorry, went the wrong way, folks. So I will take a deep breath right here. Unmic yourselves if anybody has any questions at this point before I dive into building your email list.
Lani, this is kind of a different question, and Emily, you might want to reply to this one. I had one of our attendees ask about how to get our newsletter. I did share the link to our website, which is Shasta-SBDC.org, but I wasn't sure if there's somewhere particular to introduce someone to connect to a newsletter. Are you aware of anything, Lani?
For our SBDC?
Right.
No, but we've got Emily on. Does she want to?
Yeah, if you just want to email me, emily@norcalsbdc.org, and then I'll add you to the list.
Does it pop up anywhere, Emily? Do we have it on any of our social media or on our website? Does it pop up?
Oh, Natalie just shared a link with me that she found on our website. Gee, thanks, Natalia. I appreciate that. I'll share that with everybody.
Yeah, that's usually the place that we do start having that pop up if you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter. That's where most businesses, if they're using an email service, whether it's through their own website and you're using someone to help you with that, and you're going to run your emails through your own website programming, or you're using a email marketing service like Constant Contact, MailChimp, all of the other ones, they have it built in that you can have it pop up for folks who visit your website to subscribe right there. And then what it does, and there's ways that you can filter. Email marketing services give you a way that you get to filter it, or does it just automatically drop into one of your lists? And so that's typically one of the touch points that we do have so folks can subscribe. I'm just going to check the checkbox. Oh, okay. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So building your email list. Get this question a lot. Well, how do I build my email? Well, you got to ask people. You got to put it on your website. You've got to have a book in if you have a storefront. If you're out at an event, you've got to, ask for the email. You don't buy emails. If you buy emails, they're going to catch you, and they're going to put that account down. You don't want to be like, I just want to buy 1,000 emails. Not a good practice. Not a good practice. If you are let's say a vendor at an event, or you're advertising in some type of publication, and they say, we will provide you with the emails from all of the attendees at the conference or the event, then they have got those emails within the registration and gotten permission to share those with the advertisers or the vendors, then use that list. If they offer that to you, yes, that is not purchasing a list. A purchase is a list is where you can go on, and I had a client do this, purchase 5,000 emails from, for all of these specific people that were in that industry that he was trying to grow his business. And he got caught, and they closed it down. They closed down his email, and they closed down his strategy. So You don't want to do that. So you want to think about setting up a pre-launch page. And that was basically what we have on our website at the SBDC. This is a bookstore, and they have it right here. Want to keep in touch, sign up for our newsletter and be the first to hear about it. It has the disclaimer right there. They're using Constant Contact. So the people, you put your email in there, sign up. Sometimes they ask for double verification. It goes to your email box to make sure that you did want it. Or then it goes right over into the email servicing. So collect emails from sales and customer accounts. If you're using QuickBooks, you can collect emails. You can ask your customer at that time when you're putting them in the system, that is okay, that we we send out periodic emails. Are you okay with that? Or I have a client that she just has a little business card. On the back of it, she stamped customer's name and email, and she hands that out and says, if you'd like to receive my monthly email or an email about upcoming promotions and events, please fill this out. And she has them drop in a bucket or a glass jar, and then that's how she collects them. And then she manually puts them into her email servicing. Capture when networking. So if you're out networking and you have business cards, and we are going to be doing some networking again in person, then, you collect their card and say, is it okay if I add you to my email list? And then place opt-in forms across your site. I've seen them in the header, the footer, put them on your blog, your resource page, put them on an about page, a pop-up form. So, any touch point. Accelerate signups with lead magnets. This is what ACE rewards do. Right here in the very bottom, get exclusive offers and expert tips. Sign up. It's in the bottom, and they're giving like a little extra incentive, a deal. You can run sweepstakes or contests to get emails. Access to educational content, something that is maybe not everybody's going to get. It depends on how you want to create it. And then, of course, ask for emails in person. I did talk about that. I would suggest you go to some of your competitors' sites and see what they're doing, see how they're positioning it. But there's really no right or wrong. It's more about what's more effective for your business, what's kind of the norm in your industry, and then what do you want to offer in return. For example, some nonprofit organizations, they just want to sign up for our regular email, our quarterly newsletter, so you can stay abreast of what we're doing in our programming. Other for-profit businesses are more about offering special deals, offering exclusive behind-the-scenes type of incentives. You're going to get this if you ask for this email. I know that some more traditional bricks and mortar or stores that are selling actual product, even if it's online, they'll do a pre-sale email. Sign up for the pre-sale. You'll receive information about our twice a year pre-sale event. You'll have promotions, like I have a client who's doing one now for the first week monthly drop of new products. You get exclusivity to that. You'll be the first to know. So it's kind of us creating that inclusivity. Okay, switching gears now, selecting the types of campaigns. So you've got to kind of think through, what do you want your campaign to be? What are the types? And you may do one, you may do several, you may do one a week, you may do one a month, you may do one a quarter. Start with something manageable that you know that you can do this regularly, because I'm going to tell you folks, I make it sound really easy. It takes a lot of time and focus to put together that email, because you want it to be professional looking. You want it to have that support your brand. You want it to have content that resonates with your customers or your prospective clients. And so you kind of want to put some thought around it And so think about it as maybe one that is going to be, you're going to use often. And so you take some time to do a template around it. Let's say it is when folks, you're uploading new folks into your email list. Maybe this is your first welcome. Thank you for stopping into the store. We're so happy to have met you. Here is a few of our events that are coming up. We look forward to having you come back again, whatever it is. Now, this is a newsletter, and I like for a lot of folks that are very, time is precious to us, and a lot of us don't have a lot of deep staff to assist with all of the things that it takes to run a business or a nonprofit or an organization. So your newsletter can be that thing that you do quarterly or you do monthly, and you look at it and think about it in like buckets, right? An email newsletter is regularly distributed. So if you're going to ask for folks to sign up for a quarterly newsletter, then what would you want to put in that that's going to add value? Your goal may be to keep in touch with them. And this is the perfect type of campaign to use. Like one may be a message from the business owner, and then you may say new products we've introduced or new services. You may showcase an employee. You may talk about some upcoming promotions you're going to be offering, maybe talking about some things that are happening in your community events that are happening. So now we're helping support our community. Some educational, your industry may put out some great content, a blog or a YouTube content that you may want to share with your customers about the changes in the industry since the pandemic. Things have really changed in a lot of areas. You may want to just showcase your online shop. So you figure out what you want that email to look like in your buckets of content. And then you create that first one, and then you've got your first template created. You've got the colors branded, you've got your logo in the right place, you've got all your icons set up across, all the links are working to your social media, you've got the disclaimer, you've got your shop and hours. So all of that is laid out, and then you drop in each of those areas each quarter, new messaging, new content. Use a familiar from name when you are creating your newsletter campaign. So when it drops into the subject line, they know it's from the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center or the name of your business. Use segmentation and dynamic content to personalize your newsletter. So if you want to just send a newsletter out to just your new customers and you've got that segmented, great, do it that way. Or just to your customers that are online, or just to the customers that have purchased. Maybe if you're a service-based business and you offer financing, maybe you want to just send something out to those that are using the financing service. Add compelling images and visuals for each piece of content. And you want to include benefit-focused headings. And then you also, like I said, you want to have a call to action button on each content piece. Within the content, within the visual, if you're using an email marketing service, you can embed URLs. You can embed links to other websites to lead them over, to register, to lead them over. If you're just talking about another community event and there's a picture of it, you can put that community event's organizing URL in that photo, so that when they link on the photo, it takes them over to that URL. It takes them over to another website. Those are what count as a click-through. Oh, I hear the landscaper next door is mowing the lawn, so great. Okay, the next type of campaign is marketing offer. A marketing offer is essentially any campaign you send with the goal of driving a direct response. This is effective if you want to drive sales, right? It presents a product or discount offer and includes a direct call to action for people to click through. I'm going to tell you, Old Navy, you and I signed up for that because I buy a few things at Old Navy. And boy, I wish I had their email marketing budget because they send one out almost every day. Today, jeans are $12. Tomorrow, today only 20%. But that's their strategy. So, I'm not saying you need to do one every day. Most of my, smaller, more independent businesses that have a regular email kind of strategy, I see them sending one out once a month or maybe every other week. Now, if you're an organization and there's lots of things that are changing consistently and there's new things coming on and new funding opportunities and new programming, much like our SBDC has been experiencing with all of the new disaster loans and grants and funds, they're sending out more regularly than just once a month because things are changing so quickly. But a marketing campaign, if you want to offer, your 20% off or just shoes this month or introducing new products and then driving everybody to purchase online or letting them know they can come back into your store to purchase, this would be the type of campaign you may want to use. Announcements are great. You send them to your subscribers, announcing a new product, a feature, or a service, or sharing information about maybe you have a new employee. Maybe you're just welcoming back everybody back to your store now with your new hours. This over here, Tessa's Kitchen Store, very full service kitchen store up in Grass Valley, California. Been there for years. It's gone through several different owners, and this was the past owner, and they're announcing that he is saying goodbye. He is retiring, and they have a new owner, Penny, who is excited to meet you. And then also it was around the holidays, so they're talking about a few of this holiday activities. Very simple, very, just not a lot. It was part of their maybe their December newsletter, but this was an announcement that he's saying goodbye because he's a known person in the community. He is Tessa's, and now Penny is Tessa's. Again, have all of their little social media icons right where you can see them. I can't stand them when they're buried and they're so small you can't see them. So I always suggest put them in a predominant place, put them in a couple places. If they're so tiny and you got to scroll through the whole email to see them, sometimes you miss that opportunity. Tessa's Kitchen there's their brand. Event emails. Now, this used to be a big one because a lot of our nonprofits do events. A lot of our businesses are participating in events. And now that they're coming back online, you're going to see more of these. So an event email is very similar to if you're using your social media, your Facebook page event feature. It's very, very similar to that, except these drop right into your subscribers' emails boxes. So, again, you want the initial event invitation is to invite contacts. You may have RSVP confirmation there. Reminder email, whoops, I'm so sorry, guys. Reminder email for your inactive contents. Maybe you want to just send it out to your inactive contents and say, hey, remember, we've got this event coming up, and here's the date. Make sure you register before all seats are taken or all places. And a follow-up email. Thank people for attending. So this is what, this was a river photo contest that was taking place up in Weaverville. And this was, the Arts Council was doing this. And this is what they send out a very nice, probably bi-weekly, every other week email. And it's talking about, what galleries are open, what artists are showing where. And, Weaverville is not a big town. Trinity County is the smallest county in the, in California. So they really have a lot going on up there, and they're continuously reminding people. And they have found that the email marketing is one of their best tools. Other types, you can do ordering and shopping confirmations. You can actually use your emails for feedback. Emails, subscriber only discounts, seasonal promotions, welcome emails, second order emails. This is from Heaven and Star Child Boutique that I found online. And this is a thank you. This happened right in the beginning of the pandemic, and they're just talking about what you can do to help that they're launching their new website. So this was an example of one that came out pretty early, but it's very personal. And it's, it's a lot of text, but if you're a follower of this sweet little child's boutique, you would read this and you would appreciate it. And a lot of our customers were asking that when a lot of their favorite little shops and restaurants were temporarily closed. And so now is your opportunity as a business to welcome back your customers and let them know that you are opening and what your hours are. And to be patient as you, reopen and reactivate your staff and work within the new protocols. Okay, so how do you create that first campaign? I say just jump in and do it. Just get your feet wet. And we're here to help you if you do need help. But really, look at some examples, do a little research, find out what some of the ones that you like that you're already getting, what you liked about it, what you didn't. Look at some of your competitors. What are they sending out? What does your industry recommend? And then just kind of think through, and maybe you write it out and think through, if I'm going to take all this time and I'm going to really send this out to my 500 emails that I've collected over the last year, what's the most powerful message that I want to drop into their email boxes right out of the gate? Okay, so structure your campaign for easy reading. If there's the ability, you don't have to put the whole content right there. If you have built your website and you've got about you, you have a home page and it talks about your business and it has wonderful photos, you don't need to put all of that in your email. You can put just, a welcome, have you and your staff welcoming them, and a little caption, and then a link to your website where they can learn more about your everything else. So that's, one tip. Use images and visuals to boost engagement. People like visuals, right? Personalize your email campaigns. Ensure your campaign is relevant to every subscriber. Geographic location, demographics, market, past activity, customer data. So you want to think about how you've collected all of these emails, and maybe you haven't segmented them yet. So go ahead and just send them out and think about, these are going to everybody's emails that I've collected over this last year through my website capturing emails, or through, however you've captured them. Or if you captured them prior to the pandemic and you haven't really sent anything out, then that's okay too. Now's the time to do it, to think about that first. Welcome back. We're so excited we can actually open up again, or we're traveling again. We can't wait to see you coming through our community again. Make sure you stop by and say hi. Here's our hours, however you want to structure it. But capturing the content, creating the content, adding the visuals, just like social media, that falls on you. That is where you've got to really think about, what are some of the, what have I collected? What do I have in my content bank? What can I pull down from my industry blogs? Is there some education that I can repackage? Are there things that are relevant that are going on in my community that appeal to my customer base? What does my vendors provide for product development, for product backup? Just like points of sale in a physical building business, what are some of the points of sale that come with my products that I can then, include in my emails, that are good images, that is okay to use? If I'm repping a certain brand, like my daughter's roofing company reps Owens Corning, what do they provide in terms of images, in terms of educational content that she can then repackage into her email marketing? Ensure your campaigns are aligned with colors, fonts, and branding across all of your customer touch points. So now that when your customer gets that email dropped into their email box, that your brand just is, pops right out. When they click on it, it has that same brand personality, that same online personality. The way you talk about your products, the way you structure it, the colors, the brand, the fonts. As you start to do, your social media post, your personality comes out. I have a certain personality and way when I'm creating my email post or my social media post, the way I talk about this product and the service, the way I link and tag things. And that needs to be kind of brought into your email marketing. Make it easy to convert, and it's optimized on all devices. And then strategically time your campaigns. How often and what time is important? Emails follow a promotional or editorial calendar. Planning your campaigns helps avoid waiting too long between sends, or worse yet, flooding subscribers with too much. I recommend at least one thing monthly. Like I recommend at least 3 social media posts should be 2 to 3 times a week. Email marketing should be at least monthly, once a month. I don't think that's a lot, I know, for some of you, but once a month, you should be pushing something out if you're going to use email marketing as one of your marketing strategies. Send more than just promotional content. And here are some ideas. Include company information, career opportunities, press you received about your company, awards you received, behind the scenes content, even new staff or just welcoming back staff. Right now, leverage that. Products, updates, and information. Value-driven content, like some infographics that you may pull down from your industry, or industry studies, or survey says. Let's say you did a poll on Facebook about what hours work best for your customers if you were going to open up on a Sunday. And then you say that, you put that in your email out, say, hey, we took a poll. We were so happy to announce that we're going to be opening on Sundays. We did a poll on our Facebook page, and 80% of our customers said that the best hours are for them noon to 3. So you can repackage that, right? People-focused content. New hire bios, executive interviews, customer feedback and testimonials, team member blogs, support information, event information. And then down here, this is the best little piece of resource I've found in a long time, and I'm sharing it with you. It's from campaignmonitor.com, and it's a guide that gives you 50 content ideas for your email newsletter. So if you can't think up one yourself from this list, or, from your own creative mind, or knowing, your business so well, because only you know it inside and out, only you know your services and products and your staff and your mission and your values and your colors. This gives you some ideas. I love when businesses cross-promote other local businesses in their area. Maybe it's a business that is new in the area and you just want to give them a shout out. Maybe you just do that in one of your e-newsletters. And I just want to shout out to a new business that's located in our area. Go try them out. They serve great enchiladas and their margaritas are great, or however you want to do it. And you put a little picture of that, and you link it to their website. And then how wonderful is that? Because we're all in this together. We're all interdependent. We may be independent businesses, but we're independent upon each other to really grow and thrive, especially coming out of the pandemic. So, hey, I'm hanging in there. I still got a good half an hour. Do I have any questions? Go ahead and unmic, or Linda, if you have heard of any, or if you have one yourself that you want to ask. Or
we do
Emily?
not have any in the chat right now, so now would be a great time for people to turn their microphone on. Natalia, I see you have a question.
Hi, thank you. Yes, I have 2 questions, but it's about putting links in your emails. My first question is, you mentioned adding social media icons. And so when you're adding links to your email, including those, is there a certain number that's ideal? Is there too many? Can you put too many links in an email and confuse people?
We probably could, because people get confused really easily. The way that it works, not for your social media icons, put your icons, put your Facebook icon up there so it links over to your Facebook page or your Pinterest. In terms of embedding the links and the URLs in your actual content, you would want to probably highlight something. Let's say you're wanting to link it over to a survey that was taken and it has the results and it's sitting on another website, right? So you would highlight the name of that business or that wherever it is and embed it in that highlighted text so that it's just highlighted, that if someone was reading and scrolled over it when they're reading it with their cursor, then that's how it links over. Other ways, you can just put the URL itself, the www dot at the bottom of something, because it's not anywhere in the content. The best way to do is to link it over the content, the messaging.
Okay, gotcha.
For a lot of people that are doing registries or something, they'll say free register, right? And then you've linked it over that piece. So I don't think there's too many. Be careful when you're creating it. There's the option that it can open in a new page, or it opens. So once they close that, it comes back to your e-newsletter, that they don't have to then come back and reopen it again.
Correct. Right. Okay. And then with those links, you said embedding it in the wording itself where they don't actually see the URL, that versus seeing the URL, does it matter when people receive emails if they can't click on a link? Does that happen very often anymore, where they can't click on a link and it just opens to the URL?
They should be able to. That's where you can test it. That's probably one of the biggest values of using an email marketing service, is it gives you the option to preview it on a desktop, preview on a mobile device, and test it. So when I do my quarterly newsletter and I have all of these links embedded over the text, I take a good half an hour and go through every piece to make sure it's linking over.
Okay. All right.
Because usually it's how we copy it. It's usually if we got, we didn't put the backslash at the end, or, because we usually are copying and pasting it. Yeah. So take the time to just run through your e-newsletter, make sure everything works correctly before you publish it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Okay. Do we have other questions? Anybody?
Yeah, feel free to turn your microphone on, or you can chat. Oh, here's one. Do you recommend MailChimp for marketing?
I don't recommend one over the other. I use both. I use two different services. So I would watch that webinar that one of our business advisors did, comparing the pros and cons. I learned on one email marketing service, and so I got very comfortable with it. And then I had a client that used MailChimp, so I had to relearn it. There were differences. So there was a learning curve. A lot of them have all the same comparable features. They just cost differently, or the way you access it. And I know, Constant Contact went through a change in the last 6 months, so that it's different now. But MailChimp, a lot of people appeal to MailChimp because it has it has a free service with a limited amount of emails, with a limited amount of things that you can do in an email campaign. So a lot of folks start there. But let me tell you, your goal is to grow your email list so that you don't always stay under the threshold of a free service, because then why are we doing it? Because you're really trying to grow your list. So I can't tell you one over the other. I can just tell you, I find them very valuable. They keep all of everything that I've done, all of the different campaigns. They keep my list clean. They, unsubscribe those who click to unsubscribe. They send me a whole long list of ones that either have changed their emails or have left the company or are out of town. So it helps with a lot of that kind of organizational aspects. Okay. I see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue on, Linda, if you feel that that's good with our attendees.
That sounds great.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop my little video. And then we're going to move to, all right, so let's talk about, this is a tool that I recommend to everyone in terms of helping kind of think of your marketing as a whole and kind of drafting a roadmap of how do I keep all of these different things, working together, because this is just one little piece of managing a business, right? We've got all the rest of the story. And so when you think about all of your content, how are you going to use it and interface it and create it so that it may work on all of your various marketing venues or tactics? So this is a roadmap that I did back in Q4. I just did this as an example one time and this was for a client, but I've changed it. And we went through September, October, November, and December. So we were projecting out, okay. And then we added the pandemic on the end here. Now I would add post-pandemic. But we were trying to get ahead of the quarter. So we did this in July thinking, okay, because so many of us are saying, oh my gosh, what have I got to do in May? And I better push something out. And oh my gosh, I haven't done any posts for May. And now we're in May. May 1st is on Saturday, for goodness sakes, or Sunday. So trying to think in a quarterly basis, if you can. And we were looking at this period of time. And up here, we kind of listed under the month, what are some of those type of promotions or events or things that this particular business would want to maybe create content around. So this in September, it was Labor Day and back to school, fall colors, harvest, Halloween, basically some of those, Q4, more traditional type of events or promotions or holidays or seasons were relevant to this business. Then down the side, we put all of the ways that she promotes and markets her business. Business Facebook page, email marketing campaigns, Instagram stories, storefront, website, chamber, downtown, district, or strip mall. So this is just a small list. We didn't add Pinterest. We didn't add Twitter. We didn't add LinkedIn. We didn't add, all of the other things that she may use, but these were the high level ones. And then in that, we started to think, okay, well, what should the email marketing campaigns include? Maybe a Labor Day promotion. Maybe in October, we do seasonal changes that your customer should consider. Then all about shop local and support for November. And these are pretty high level. You can get into much more deeper detail and talk about specific things that you're going to want to list in that particular month. But then we kind of tried to think, okay, for business Facebook page, maybe for October, sell pumpkin kits and host a pumpkin carving kit with the folks take a picture in the pumpkin and tag you. And then, of course, if that's successful, she could roll that into her email marketing campaigns. Instagram stories, weekly stories that are new in the fall at your business. Storefront, decorate your window. So we kind of were just laying this out, and you can do this any way you want to do it. You could lay out on the top your marketing tactics and down the side your various months. But it gives you kind of, taking the time, if you could, with your marketing team or your employees, or, I do it sometimes with my daughter who's 25 and she's a Instagram diva. So I say, okay, honey, what should I post on Instagram this month? And so she sometimes brainstorms. And then the pandemic, or now post-pandemic, what is relevant that you would want to include in your email newsletter, in your business Facebook pages, in your Instagram stories or your Instagram post, and at your storefront. So this is called I just call it a content roadmap. Kind of think about what kind of content, what are you going to need to get, where are you going to get it, so you can start to think, oh gosh, if I'm going to do something in July, for 4th of July, maybe I should start thinking about that. What am I going to do? Am I going to have any specials? Am I sponsoring something? Am I going to just use, what's my theme going to be for that month, for my storefront, for my email marketing content, and start to kind of think it through. So this is a Levi's. They're of course, a national business, and their actual email marketing is very simple. And this was dropped in June, and they were calling all campers. So tell me what was going on in June 2020. Of course, everybody's going outside. All state parks, all national parks that were open, all local parks and regional parks that maybe were opening, we're seeing a real bump in attendance, real bump in people coming and visiting because of the pandemic and being able to be outside. So they designed their specific email promotion that dropped into my email box around in June, catering to that mindset, calling all campers, showing some of their product that was appropriate for that specific customer base. Whether you're heading to a national park or parking it in your backyard, here's a look at some of your favorite and most functional styles for exploring the great outdoors. And of course, we all know that with remote working, we're all much more casual. A lot of national businesses have had to switch their clothing lines. I mean, Banana Republic, my goodness sakes, everything's casual, going to work remotely, sweatpants, all of those things. So, again, this is more around thinking about what was going on in that month. What was the change in our shopping behavior, in our visitor behavior, in our buying products and services behavior, and that may be appropriate for your business. Okay, so we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the post-pandemic things you should be thinking about. Announce any changes in hours or services. This, right now is the time to start communicating and educating and building awareness around some of the things that maybe have changed in your business because of the pandemic. If you're a professional business and you've been working primarily remotely because your office has been closed, but now you're going to be opening up office hours. What do those office hours look like? Are you still just taking meeting in person by appointments? What is that, how has this changed? Highlight the safety and health protocols in place. Continue to highlight those. Do you still require masks? Are you still under, a certain capacity of folks coming in? Are you still offering after hour or appointment only shopping for maybe some of those more vulnerable populations? Are you still going to be offering, curbside pickup and takeout while you're doing, sit down? So all of those things, and then every business is so different. So you're tracking what's, is appropriate for your industry, for your business. So communicate that to your customers, because I'm going to tell you, we're getting really confused out there. What's open, what's not, how many people can go in there. And the last thing you want your customer to do is to take the effort to either come down and visit you and or try to, support you, and they can't, right? And again, if you're going to continue to, slowly open up and you still have your online presence, tell them that. Tell them that we would love to see you in our shop. Here's our hours, but we still have, most of our products and services are able to purchase online. If you see something, there's something that you don't see that we carry, just give me a call and I'll have that delivered. Just tell me where to ship it, right? Showcase any improvements or changes you made during 2020. A lot of businesses took this opportunity to reformat their business, rebrand, add new staff, change it up, make those improvements, and or the safe, again, we have opened up to our back patio and now we have outdoor dining. We've spilled down into the street, onto the sidewalk. We can, continue to offer that. So you just have to let them know. welcome back your staff. Make it personal. Do a little video of each of your staff just saying, I'm so excited to be back. Can't wait to see everyone. Here's what I did when I was, working remotely. I started a new garden, and here's my garden. I got a new pet. Yes, I got a new pet. I should be doing a video about that. Here's my Charlie. So, think about it again, personalizing it. As smaller businesses, we can do that. New services that you've introduced, highlight some of your regular customers. When they come in, ask if you can, we're just so excited you're back. Can we take a little picture of you? We're going to highlight some of our customers in our next email newsletter. Sure, we'd love that. And here's me and my mom. My daughter and I drove down to see my mother this last weekend in Visalia. My daughter is older. She's my 40-year-old daughter. She hasn't been to Visalia. I said, I want to go down to this little store and let's go in there. It's one of the stores that I, love to visit. And we took a selfie together and we posted it on our personal Facebook page. We're so excited to be in Visalia, Pacific Treasures. Oh my gosh, I'm buying our favorite candles. Yeah, it happens, folks. Run exclusive deals and offers and consider a communication overhaul. So just think about this as you're, post-pandemic, you're going to make the commitment to really, have a regular email relationship with your customers. And here's the time to start that. This is my CPA here in Arizona, and she sent this out for us with a summary for our businesses. I never have gotten an email marketing an email from her was other than your taxes are ready, bring the check, right? But she did this 2 times. She did this CARE Act summary for businesses, and then she did CARE Act summary for individuals. And then this year she did one talking about how she was going to be meeting with clients if you needed to make an appointment with her, because you can't just, call her up and go see her in person. So I thought that was really, really very valuable. And then see down here where it's all dark. This is the little explanation of what that exclusion for certain employer payments for. And then if I linked that, it went into much more deeper discussion, about that piece. That specific. That's where she put all of her links. So it was very clean. She's a CPA, very, down and to the point. I have saved it because, there was a lot of changes. So measuring your success. So like everything else, how do you know if this is working? Do we see a big bump in our sales? After we deliver an email marketing campaign to our email list, depends on what you're saying, what the messaging is, but are you seeing a growth in your list? Are you seeing more open rates? And typically a standard open rate is between 20 and 30%. Click-through rates. This is a percentage of how many successfully delivered emails and campaigns registered at least 1 click. And 5% is usually generally 2 to 3 times the conversion rate of your online store. So maybe 5%, right? Share the number of people who forwarded your campaign to a friend using the forward icon in your email template, or shared it via social networks like Twitter and Facebook. And then revenue. This one is, you've got to measure it over time. So, and because we had such a crazy year, maybe you start looking at an email campaign and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to start measuring from when I started in 2021 and start to measure to see if I see more revenue in my online store since I started pushing out emails, leading people to my online store, or because I'm opening up and I'm going to start using my email marketing to actually push and talk about opening up and having some in-store promotions. I'm going to start measuring over the next year what my revenue, because what we did in 2019 is going to be physical places. It's going to be very different, right? It's kind of like starting over again. So you want to think about how you're going to measure for success. And with that said, I have actually finished with 5 minutes to go. So I am going to stop my video. Does anybody have any specific questions? Or I would love, Emily, if you're still on the line, to share any tips that you've come across or that you use in your email for the Shasta-Cascades email campaigns.
Emily was not able to stick with us anymore.
Oh,
she had
darn
another
it.
commitment.
Okay. Well, anyway, she does a great job. I'll let Linda wrap this up, and then we'll talk about a few upcoming webinars that are going to be happening.
Sure. So thank you everyone for joining us. I sent a link in the chat to the survey that goes along with this webinar. We love to hear what you think about the webinar. Let us know the difference it's made for you. And also let us know if there are other webinars that you would like us to create for you, because that's how a lot of these got started, is with a viewer saying, hey, can you do this topic? I know Lani has created a lot of different marketing webinars to serve you. So we are so glad that you're here. And Lani, if you can, the other things we'd like to talk about, there is an Excel class that I will be teaching, and that's coming up on May 12th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Lani, can you also talk about how people work with the SBDC if they get assigned an advisor and they are in either Shasta or Trinity counties?
Sure. Okay. So one of our services, of course, is we provide confidential one-on-one business advising. And if you're located in Shasta or Cascade, you can just email Emily right up here, and she'll do an intake. She'll ask some questions about your business, how long you've been in business, what are you looking for in need of assistance? Are you a startup? Are you looking for marketing? Are you looking for QuickBooks? And then she will align you with the business advisor that can help for you to meet with to start with that relationship. And then we coordinate. Typically, we meet remotely using Zoom or using that type of programming, and we will set an appointment with you. And now that we actually have moved our office to downtown Reading, and there is some appointments available in person if you prefer that way. We also can have a regular times at the Shasta-Cascade Library and or up in Bernie. We're also up in Trinity County. So if you are in another county and not in Shasta or Cascade County, in anywhere in the United States, you would just link on this link right here, americasbdc.org, to find your closest SBDC in your county, and you would just either email them or call them. So it's very simple. We're there to work with you and help you move forward in your business in any of the areas that you maybe need some advising. I do want to talk about that this May 4th, we are doing a 1-hour webinar at 10 o'clock, and it's opportunities for minority, veteran, and women-owned businesses. And we're going to be talking about what are some of those procurement and diversity supplier type of opportunities, as well as some grants and loans that are out there specific for those, as we call, underserved type of businesses, whether you're a minority business, veteran, or women-owned, and talk about how do you become an actual national certified business so that you can then look at some of the opportunities that are offered through that certification. And again, all of our webinars, most of our webinars are free. We try to make them painless. And our advising is at no cost to you. And again, I just want to thank you for spending this morning with me. I can't believe it's almost May. Thank you, Linda, as always, for coordinating everything.
Thank you, Lani. Perfect timing on this webinar. This is definitely a 90-minute webinar. Thanks for everything you're sharing with us, Lani. I know it means so much to our attendees. Thank you to each of you for finding time in your calendar to join us. We are so glad you did. We hope we see you again. Thank you and have a great day.
Bye.